Toronto, the center of the universe. Some might know it as the Bati Crease of North America. Some know it as a place where Belmont cigarette smokers congregate. I know her as home. She's pretty when she gets all dolled up for you, isn't she? Damn. Hello everybody, my name is the Chef and welcome back to Deadpan Dining. As you can see, my back pimple is healing and I got a little mark on my arm from something. And I got a sweet, sweet naked boy at my feet. His name is Anubis. Just want to thank you guys for your support so far. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Today's episode we're going to be covering the Italian classic Risotto. We're going to be doing it with mushrooms. We got some cheap shit laying around. We got some stuff in my fridge here, as you can see, little scraggly bits. We're going to be using these creminis. These mushrooms were actually modeled after my mushroom. Little stumpy thing. I'm all sack, if you know what I mean. But we're going to be making a little mushroom stock here. As you can see, we got a bunch of different vegetables, some celery, parsley stems. We're going to be using some mushroom stems as well. Some leeks, primarily the top part of the leek, because nobody likes eating those. I like taking leeks. We got some thyme there, some onion. We're going to magically vanish this skin, same way my moil vanished my foreskin. Just kidding. Some random doctor did. I didn't have a moil to do that. Don't know what he's doing with the skin, but perhaps he made like a Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre style mask or something. But anyways, we're making a little mushroom stock here with some veg we got kicking around. We're cutting down all these things just so we can extract the flavor as fast as possible, because the smaller the dice, or the smaller the cuts rather, the sooner the flavor will be extracted, theoretically speaking. You don't have to do it like as super fino as me, as the Italians would say, but we're basically just trying our best to get it super thin, as I was saying. We got Frosty's little hammer there on the side. We're just going to keep it. This terrible transition there. I tried to be a little TikToker, but anyways. Grab your mushrooms and just kind of tuck them in here. We're trying to tuck them in, similar to the way Buffalo Bill tucked his mushroom between his legs. Very classy move when you're inviting a lady or a fella over to your house. Pull up in a bathrobe, fully tucked. It's a good look. We're going to take most of the mushrooms and dice it up into like a really kind of rustic chop here. I shouldn't say dice, it's more of a chop, but anyways, we're going to take the remainder and do a couple of like rustic cuts. I'm using the word rustic a lot because I feel like it. But these ones are going to be a little more chunky. They're going to be set aside for the garnish later in the video, which we'll see at the end. We got some shallots here. We're going to do a nice little brunoise on these as well. Try to get them to a similar size as those finely chopped mushrooms over there. And a brunoise is essentially just a very fine dice. We don't really care too much how it looks, so we're not going to worry too much about how perfect these cuts are. We're just doing rustic cuts. You ever been hit with a rusty trombone? Has nothing to do with rustic cuts, but we're just kind of spitting off the top of the dome here. So anyways, we're going to add that to the mushrooms there. And remember, Buffalo Bill these mushrooms and just tuck them into this bowl. Don't forget to play Goodbye Horses as well. That's a song you got to be playing while you tuck your mushroom. So anyways, we're going to heat up our pan here. We got a little non-stick. It doesn't have to be non-stick. And our little bottle of olive oil. We're going to give this pan a little golden shower there, R. Kelly style. And we're just going to wait till the oil. You can see that it's smoking. We're going to wait till it's a little bit smoky and add the thicker cut mushrooms here, actual size, and just kind of saute them. Try not to take your pan off the element like I did there as much as possible. Just try to control your heat. I was just taking it off because it was very hot a little bit, so that was just a way for me to cool it down a little in the meantime. And also, don't be a frickin' idiot and savage like me and just use your knife to stir your mushrooms, because you will damage your pan. Make sure you have proper cooking utensils. I could care less because I've got access to a million pans if I need, and this one's getting old. So we're going to add a couple of thyme stems to this and just lube it up a little bit more with some of that golden R. Kelly juice. And just make sure your arm's in the frame there, because that's always a good shot. You know, great going, chef. And we're going to season these because we have extracted some of the moisture. As you can see, these are getting a nice tan here, as if they were tanning on the beach. Again with the knife, I'm just flicking it around like an absolute moron. A little nubby of butter there. But that's pretty much where we wanted to get it at. We just wanted to get some nice color on it. And we're going to be cooking the other mushrooms and the shallots in a different pot. So we got the mushrooms and the shallots kind of together here. Stir them up. I got my Betty Crocker whisk. It's probably not the ideal cooking utensil, but I realized I don't own a wooden spoon. Add a little bit more of the little R. Kelly juice there, and add just, I would say, like an even amount of rice, whatever it looks like, an even amount of rice to the amount of garnish in there, because that garnish is going to shrink like the mushroom and shallots, but this rice will expand, so don't worry too much. You'll see what I mean. It'll expand your mushroom, you know, like when you see or smell something that is pleasant to your sensory system. So we're going to whisk this butter in there, cork open your favorite bottle of white wine, and just give it a big old glug. You know how I like to use that word. We're going to stir this up after we sweated the actual rice, and just drop the ladle in there like a complete buffoon. But deglaze the pan with that wine and just kind of cook it out till the rice is a little translucent. As you can see, my mushroom stock reduced quite some bit, which is why it's so dark. Yours doesn't have to get this dark. This is just a whoopsie doodle on my part. But pretty much just cook it till it's going to take you like 15-20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, depending on how high your heat is. But I just added some olive oil there. This is pretty much cooked. I just didn't want to like show you guys me, you know, stirring a pot for 30 minutes. But this is cooked now. You can see the consistency that it is. It's more al dente, it's al dente, but I would say a little bit cooked, slightly past al dente, which is what I like. Some people like it al dente and like a little bit more of a crunch, I would say, but I'm not like super into super crunchy rice. I like it just like almost cheese curd consistency, you know, like a little bit of density to it. So we got I added actually truffle oil and the truffle pecorino that I had kicking around in my fridge, and that's going to actually thicken this up. When you plate the risotto, like I'm about to plate here, you want it to sort of run on the plate. And what I don't mean like, you know, when you shit your pants and it runs down your leg. It's got to be a little bit of a slower run. As you can see, it's kind of expanding. Right now it kind of looks like a plate of poop, but we will be adding some color and some cheese and some other garnish to it to make it look real nice. We got this cool plate. It looks like a Portuguese mother's plate. I swear I didn't rob a Portuguese mom for this. But we got this at like some Japanese store, as most of my plateware is. So you can see it's very like fluid in the sense that it can change genders at any time. We're going to add some more of that truffle pecorino on top. It's quite salty, so I did season the rice, of course, with salt. Always season your food, guys. But we added that just as kind of a base layer to give a little, make these mushrooms pop a little bit, and also just tighten up the risotto ever so slightly. We're going to add these mushrooms, like I was saying. These are going to be kind of like the star of the dish. They're packed full of umami. I did put a little truffle oil in, like I said. I don't know if I mentioned that, but you don't have to do that. I just like the essence of truffle in a mushroom dish. So we got some pea shoots from the old pea shoot live. We have this little live pea shoot thing that I'm growing, and I also have them at work. So gives you a little color pop. You could use chives. I just didn't really have chives until I noticed afterwards. But we're also going to give it with a little bit of olive oil on the top to give it a nice sheen, like a little Charlie Sheen. I know he's quite popular right now. But yeah, this is basically what the end product's going to look like. You could do it on a flat plate, is how I normally do it, but let's dig in and taste it. You can see that the cheese is starting to melt or whatever, but that's not the point. It is quite delicious. You can see that it's still got the fluidity that we're looking for in the consistency. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is a Wu-Tang collection of cards. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.